Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to YouTube. My name is SeaRaptor, and it is time for more Scuttlebutt. This week's game is brought to you by Tier 10 Premium British battleship HMS Thunderer. Those of us who play on NA will remember this ship as Little White Mouse's 100th ship review sometime last year. Yes, that's right, kids. She designed a fake ship to try and pull one over on the community. This did not really endear her to Wargaming, who probably seems already had plans for the real Thunderer. And here we are sometime later and looking at the real thing. This ship is not substantially different from a Conqueror that's opted for the 457mm guns, right? That's what this ship is. This is a Conqueror with 457mm guns in 4 double turrets. The big differences here are the lack of the familiar British battleship super heel. Thunderer does not have that. And the addition of a short-range AA aura and the defensive AA fire consumable. So in theory, Thunderer is an even tougher AA target, even tougher target for enemy carriers than Conqueror already is. This is my very first game in this ship. I will tell you up front, this is not a good game. I do not like this ship. This is the replay of a game that I played on the stream this past Tuesday, and I'm showing it here so you guys can draw your own conclusions without my commentary. If you want my commentary, I did clip the game out of my Twitch stream, and I'll link that down below. You can go watch it with the copious amount of cursing and muttering under my breath. But anyway, there's that. So enjoy the game. What's going on? NA Forum Contest of the Week this week. I'll put that link down below. All you got to do, win a game in a French ship to earn 5 revolutionary camos and a chance at 7 days of premium time. So definitely check that out. If you're playing any games this weekend, go grab a French ship. Could be a new French destroyer you've got running. Could also just be an old French cruiser or French battleship you enjoy. Doesn't matter. Go get a win in that and win some free stuff. I want to say thanks to everybody, especially here at the top of the video before we get too far into this. Right, the channel has been growing really nicely lately. I mean, I had a big boost from Zoop a couple weeks ago, but it's extended beyond that. And so a huge round of thanks is due to you guys who subscribed, who watch and comment and interact week after week, time after time. Guys, I really appreciate it. It helps keep me going. My goal is still to hit 1,000 subs, hopefully by the end of October. Like, end of October is my goal. I'm only 175 subs shy of that. That gives me about 3 months, right? So I need to rack up, let's say, 60 subs a month. 15 a week, that's ambitious, but based on what I've had so far, but it's doable. Anyways, you guys have been instrumental moving in that direction, so I really just want to say stop and thank everybody. So huge props to you guys. Don't forget, next 2 Anchors Away events are taking place at the end of the month along the U.S.-Canadian border. Wargaming North America community staff will be at HMCS Haida in Hamilton, Ontario on Friday and Saturday, 30 and 31 August. Following day, Sunday, 1 September, they will be aboard USS Little Rock just across the Niagara River in Buffalo, New York. Now, I'm pretty sure the Saturday session aboard Haida is sold out, but tickets should remain for both Friday and Sunday. If you live in that part of the world or you're willing to travel, it's summer. It's a nice time of the year to be in that part of the world. I absolutely encourage you to head out, meet the community team and your fellow players, and explore 1 or 2, maybe, amazing museum ships. Volgar the Viking is planning on being at USS Little Rock, so definitely go take the opportunity to go meet him. I have not heard if any of our Canadian CCs are going to make it to Haida yet, but that's a possibility. It's always a possibility, so keep your ear to the ground, and you might be able to meet one of them there as well. We mentioned it last week. I'm going to pimp it again real briefly here. Fight for the Flagship is coming up in a couple of weeks here. Well, technically next weekend is our first weekend of the tournament here on NA. So we're starting on Saturday the 10th. We'll be on Twitch. If you're not signed up, we'd love you guys to come out and drop in and watch the event. We'll be doing day 1 as a Swiss play-in stage, so it'll be a lot of frenetic action. There will always be games going on. We've got put together a really good lineup of streamers. I'm looking forward to this. Day 2 is the big event. That will be a double elimination tournament. We're going to be running that on a number of personal channels, as well as the main channel, the main World of Warships Twitch channel. I'll be up in Austin hosting that on the main channel there with Kami Samurai. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be good. This is the first time we've attempted kind of an NA-centric event of this size and scope. And Wargaming is really pitching in to back us with prizes and Twitch support, and it's going to be a good time. So So keep your ear to the ground. I'll be talking about this every week. If you're not signed up to play, I'm definitely would love it if you guys would come out and watch and cheer on your favorite team, or just come in and enjoy ships blowing up. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's always hilarious to see what happens. What else we got going on? Oh, I'm going to move the dev blogs a little farther. Normally we wait till the very end of the video to talk about dev blogs, but we're going to talk about dev blogs earlier this week. So there's 3 posts worth talking about. First up was an announcement of a new game mode built around convoy escorts. This is the sort of thing that folks have been asking for pretty much since the game came out, right? Like alternate game modes. Why can't we escort convoys? This was a huge thing. Well, apparently they're working on this. This is an idea that's brewing in the testing environment right now. If you remember Operation Hermes, the scenario, it looks or sounds as if this is going to function kind of similarly, except instead of defending a convoy of ships from bots, you're going to have to defend them from players. So we'll see. That looks interesting. Anyway, check the link out below. There's a little more info in there and some pictures of the maps and kind of where their head's at. Second, they announced some changes to various French ships and a couple of ships still in testing. First up, French destroyers. All French destroyers equipped with 139mm guns are getting the normalization angles of their AP shells improved. This is a very small buff, the difference between 8.5 degrees and 10 degrees of normalization. But it does affect all French destroyers at Tier 6 and above and makes their AP just that much more effective. Their AP is already highly effective against broadside targets, especially cruisers, but, a buff is a buff. At the top of the French destroyer line, Tier 10's Kleber is getting a buff to her anti-aircraft suite. They're adding some additional 57mm cannons up there, which I believe is a buff to her mid-range aura and should help quite a bit. In fact, somebody was running the numbers, and I think she had now the second best mid-range aura behind only Friesland, which was recently tested here on the production server. And if you remember, if you played against a Friesland or you saw Friesland in game, her A was brutally punishing. Kleber, I don't think, is going to get anywhere to that point, but at least now she has the ability to defend herself against some planes. I think this, coupled with the priority sector changes that we're going to talk about in a minute, I think are going to make her feel a little more comfortable when she's in a game with a carrier. Lastly, Tier 10 Soviet battleship Slava, remember her? No, she's not dead, unfortunately, is getting a mild nerf to her reload speed, dropping to 32 seconds from 30. I'm still not a fan of this ship. I mean, they explain their rationale for creating it to us while we were in St. Petersburg. I'll talk about that when I finally get around to doing the ship balancing video. I understand why they're doing this. I just disagree. I don't think the game needs this. I think it's a bad idea. It's coming anyway, right? Like, this is my personal opinion. I don't get to make these decisions. Life goes on. In that vein, to me, any nerfs this ship gets is a good thing, right? Any nerfs is a good thing. I weep for the day that this ship releases, but it seems like it's inevitable, just like Mr. Thanos. So we'll see when it comes to live if it's as bad as some of us fear. But I don't particularly care for the playstyle this ship promotes. So that's a personal thing. The last big devlog post of the week was the formal announcement of the Research Bureau, which is essentially the rebranding of the Naval Training Center. Now, why are they rebranding it? Well, here's the deal. If you remember, the original idea of the NTC was that you would be training your crew to a higher level of efficiency and all this sort of thing, and it would buff your ship, right? Your ship would be better. It would have more hit points or fire faster or whatever. But we throw all of that out, right? Wargaming scrapped all of that because the community made it very clear they were not interested in this. They didn't want this system. And so calling it the Naval Training Center when it no longer has anything to do with training your crew to make them better, it seems kind of pointless, right? So it's been rebranded as the Research Bureau. The post, I'll link it down below, of course, describes how the new system of resetting and regrinding lines is going to work, how you do it, what happens to your captains, the various ships, the modules, and what the rewards for doing this are. I did a quick look at this on PTS tonight after I got home from work, so feel free to check out that video. I'll put a link down below and maybe throw in a card here so you can go watch that if you want. If you read the post and then watch the video, take about 5 minutes on each, you'll probably get a decent overview of how the system works. It's not overly complicated, and I'm sure there are still some quirks in it that I haven't quite figured out yet. That's one of the reasons I'm going to spend some more time on PTS playing around with it. One of the big changes between what's come to test and what was proposed initially as the Naval Training Center is that The idea of the research points and everything being tied to a nation is no longer valid. Right? Before, if you remember, you would earn XP or some tokens or whatever, and you could only spend them to buff ships within the nation that you would earn them in. That's no longer the case. Now you simply regrind a line, you earn these generic tokens, and you spend them on ships. It's like another currency, like coal or steel, right? It's just you don't have to participate in clan battles or rank battles to get it. You can just, for lack of a better word, you can endlessly grind out random battles to eventually earn these things and get fancy ships. So there you go. Speaking of the Research Bureau, the 8.7 public test server is up now. It came up today. The dev bulletin for this was posted as well this week. Highlights include the ability to try out the Research Bureau on this PTS iteration for folks who want to mess around with it and learn a little bit about this new system. It's incorporated into the Armory, but you can go check it out. What else is in 8.7? The continuation of the French Arc. Of course, it started here in 8.6. As we go on to 8.7, it will continue. The official release of the French destroyer line will be next patch, with the exception of the Tier 10, which won't release until 8.8. There'll be a new unique commander. There's a new collection. I'm assuming the new collection will come with buffs like being able to mount 2 flags. That's become a very common thing, and so on and so forth. What else is in here? A new season of Ranked Sprint is coming. We're going back to Tier 6. Games will return to domination, thank God, and be 7v7. The Epicenter season of Ranked Sprint that we did just recently was not nearly as much fun as I'd hoped. The domination season before it was brilliant. I had a blast. The Epicenter season was painful. I couldn't take it after a while. I gave up. I think at like rank 3. I was like, I'm done. Had enough. Finally, at long last, after more than 2 years of dealing with jerks spamming tactical commands endlessly into our ears, we're finally going to be able to block players who do this kind of crap. Yes, that's right, kids. Starting next patch, you will be able to mute and silence those players, and they can smash their little F keys all they want, and you won't have to listen to them. Silence will indeed be golden. One of the big changes that's being tested in 8.7 is a brand new priority sector system. They've been talking about this for a while now. It's finally available to test. I've been playing around with this today on PTS, and it's not nearly as strong as I thought it was going to be. I was afraid it was going to be so brutally punishing to carriers and to plane damage that it basically was going to, the carrier class was going to go extinct. Like, literally, it could have been that bad. However, it doesn't feel that way. It makes AA feel a little more interactive, the way it works. It definitely inflicts some burst damage. It kills some planes. But overall, in my opinion, it feels less strong so far than the current priority sector system married with manual fire for AA commander skill. So I feel like this is a step in the right direction, right? Players are going to get that interactivity, that burst damage they want to help try and defend themselves. Carrier players, it appears at first glance, are going to have a little more of a cushion and not get just wrecked so quickly by AA when they come into it, somebody who's focused their AA on one side of the ship or the other. Because right now, like, if you play with manual AA and the sector system, like, my Fletcher will just shred planes. I don't necessarily even need defensive fire. Like, defensive fire is just icing on the cake. I'll save defensive fire for, I'm going to screen my battleship, or I'm going to screen this cruiser, right? But if it's just me, unless he's trying to intentionally drop me and I'm very low health, I'll just let my manual AA chew away at his planes while I maneuver and juke and everything, and I just chew up planes all day long right now on live. So to me, I feel like this is a nice middle ground, what I've tested so far. I'm going to do some more testing this weekend, but so far, it feels really good. I suggest trying it for yourself. Go over to PTS, try it for yourself, leave Wargaming some feedback. There has been no lack of carriers on public tests, so you will have no problems. Last autopilot fixes are coming, so ships maneuver better around islands. This is a good thing. Unfortunately, right now, the bug that freaks out the autopilot system in their islands that's currently in the live client is still present on PTS, so hopefully they can get that fixed. Well, guys, here we are winding down our time in Thunderer. This ship just, I don't care for it. I don't like it. She feels soft. The guns don't feel like they do a whole lot. This was a very, very frustrating game. And if you go watch me on Twitch, you'll see me probably get a little salty because it was really, really frustrating to line up shots and take shots and just miss everything, or just it was intensely frustrating. The Ohio game that I posted a couple of days ago is actually the game that I played right after this, and it was literally like night and day. For two ships that have the same turret configuration, the same main battery armament, in terms of caliber, Ohio is just light years ahead of Thunderer. Anyway, guys, that's it for the week. I do appreciate your support. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there, and I will catch you next time.